Hey everyone, TheAngryHoneyBadger here. It's time for us to take a look at another build video today. We're going to be playing as Mundo in the top lane and all of his glorious fun up there with his cleavers, but in my case, briefcases. We're going to go ahead and talk about runes, masteries, items, builds, concepts, all types of fun stuff today with Mundo. Let's go ahead and start off with a few things like jungle Teemo ganking, whatever Teemo. Get out of here, you stupid little Teemo. He's wearing the Badger skin, too. I do not take kindly to someone using my skin. But although, on fun fact for skins, this is the first skin I ever got in League of Legends, the Corporate Mundo skin. So how fun that we're using that today. Anyways, we're going to talk about his abilities first. But first, we're going to get a little bit of a fight. I go a little bit, hit him a couple times. Now I'm in his minions. He ignites me. He moves over to my minions. I ignite him. And I will pick up the first blood as I am popping health pots to make sure I don't die from the ticks. And first blood shall be mine. Hooray for that. So that does help me out a little bit early, although we don't actually farm very well this game. I'm going to be honest. I farm pretty blah. Which is weird because Mundo's pretty easy to farm with in my opinion. But we decided to start with the Dorans Shield, and then that first trip back we did boots and some cloth armor just for a little mobility against Renekton. And then the armor's never a terrible thing as well. But we'll go ahead and talk about the build in a second. Let's go ahead and talk about Mundo's abilities. Let's start off with, in fact, his passive. Now, his passive is called Adrenaline Rush. Mundo regenerates 0.3% of his max health each second. Basically, the more health you have, the better the regeneration is. And this is kind of nice early on in the game, but that is your passive. Now, there is your Q, which is your Infected Cleaver, or in my case, the Infected Briefcase. But what happens there is you are going to go ahead and chuck out a cleaver in a line. It's going to hit a single enemy. It's going to deal magic damage based off of their current health, the percentage of it, and then some certain amount of damage. Anyways, it's going to slow them, though, for 40% for 2 seconds. And if it hits the target, you're going to get 50% of the cost back because Mundo's abilities cost him health, in case you were wondering. So no mana, no energy, nothing like that, no rage or bloodthirst or whatever the hell all that stuff's called. It is just based off of his health, like Vladimir. So, that's your Infected Cleaver. I like to max it out in lane. The pokes are ridic. You can also do other things with it. Anyways, it's also easy for farming if you need to pick up last hits and all that fun stuff. So, that's your Infected Cleaver. Then, at level 2... what do you put a point into? I don't know. It comes up to you. Probably Burning Agony or your other one. Mundo's abilities, by the way, maxing them out is totally how you like to play them. It could be really done a lot of different ways. If you want wave clear, you could do your W. If you want just that physical damage, you could do your E. For all that fun stuff. Anyways, let's just go back to the abilities. Anyways, we're to his W now. It's Burning Agony. Basically, what happens is you're going to drain health per second on yourself, but what will happen is you get the little fireballs around you, and that's going to deal magic damage to the enemies around you. It also reduces the duration of stun slows on Dr. Mundo by 10, 15, 20, 25, and by 30%. So it's kind of like some tenacity built in. So kind of fun stuff there. That is your W. And I will screw around with it however I want, but I'll typically max it out last unless I'm just shoving waves or jungling. It works, I think, decently. I don't know. It costs more health, though, so later on it's better. Anyways, to his E ability, which is, in fact, what just beefs up his physical attacks for the next 5 seconds. In addition, Mundo gains an additional points amount of 1% of health he is missing. So, basically, we're going to sum this up real quick. Ready? Q, hits him, slows him, hurts, it's fun, skill shot, slow him down. W, AoE magic damage. E ability just makes your standard attacks really, really strong for the next 5 seconds. And then finally, to your ultimate, which is in fact your sadism, I believe is it's called. Mundo regenerates 40 to 50 or 60% of his max health over the next 12 seconds. Additionally, he gains 15, 25, and 30% movement speed for that duration. This does cost you 20% of your current health, I believe. So if you use it at full life, you will lose 20% of your max life at the current moment. So I don't usually bust it out immediately, but I'll use it fairly quick in a fight if I know I'm going to take a lot of damage. So if you use it super late and you just get murdered, then you don't really get to use your ultimate. So you got to balance that. We're going to get into a little fight, though, with the Renekton. Now, at this point, if he does have minions between him and me, I'm going to land briefcases quite constantly, and it is just kiting people for days, and you're not going to get away from it. So the main thing you want to do when you're chasing as Mundo is make sure you connect with the briefcases. They're never going to get away, because if they're slowed by that 40% for 2 seconds, I think the cooldown on a Briefcase is like 3 seconds, something really short. So they only have a 1 second of not being slowed whenever you keep hitting them. So it's pretty easy to just keep nailing people with Briefcases and sticking to them like glue. So that's what we do right there. It does hurt them quite a bit too, as we could see. Briefcase is fun. By the way, in case you don't know, we pretty much build Mundo straight tank too, because he naturally gets damage from the cleavers, dealing percentage damage based off of current health on enemies. The AoE Burning Agony is good for just some extra damage in there and for, you know, keeping people off you in that tenacity. But and then you also, you know, is Aegis for that additional damage. You don't really need to build a lot of damage. So yeah, you just go pretty much tanky, and you're going to get awesome regeneration from your passive and from your ultimate. And basically, you're there to be tanky, annoying. You'll die occasionally like that. But to be tanky and annoying and to stick people like glue and just be able to initiate fights and chase people down and do all of those types of things. So that's what we're going to be doing with Mundo, the Doctor. Anyways, so those are our abilities. Like I said, I typically will max my Q and then my E and then my W. Points into your ultimate at levels 6, 11, and 16. Now let's go ahead and talk about the build a little bit. Now, against most top laners, I usually will rush the crap out of my Sunfire Cape, which is what is my first finished item here. Now here, I wish my team would just come with me a little bit quicker, because we could try to make an attempt on this dragon before I get a little too low. But we're just going to wait. Leona's going to catch back up here in a second. I'm trying to poke at them, because luckily, you can as Mundo. We're going to go ahead and pick up an assist on the Teemo. We're going to get low, but we do have our ultimate going off, so we are going to be regenning that health very rapidly. We'll also pick up a couple more assists as the rest of the team comes in and helps clean up the rest. And we'll take 3 assists. That's never a terrible thing. They got a dragon, but we can push lanes now. We'll probably take this mid turret, so it's okay. We made something work out of it, and I think they might get that bottom one as well. So actually a pretty good return on our side for us. Now, like I said, once again, I'm going to say it again, because people always seem to have comments where they don't understand it, but they might not just watch the video, so that could be part of it too. But max your abilities out how you want, because everybody plays differently. I said it again. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk a little bit about those masteries. I like to go with a 9-21-0. Now the 9, put that in the offensive tree. This is what I would call my top page if you've seen my masteries videos. Those are also available to be found in the description below. It will take you to those. And it's kind of a tankier top. I also take it on like Renekton, so you get a little bit of damage, not tons, but you get a little bit. Helps while just in lane. And then 21, that defense helps you out. Now I've seen a lot of people run full tank in the defense for Mundo. You could do it if you want, that's fine. We're building them tanky, so I can totally understand if that's what you want to do. Once again, personal preference. This is just the way I like to play Mundo. It seems to work for me, as most games are surrenders. This one will be one as well. But luckily they stuck around for a little bit. Anyways, we're going to engage in a little bit of a fight. This isn't actually going to go that amazingly for us. I do pick up 1 kill on Teemo, but then they show up with the slightly fed Yasuo, and I hit a mushroom, which is just absolutely terrible for me with that ticking damage. So I'm going to actually get killed. Slightly unfortunate, but we have bottom lane, see? They're just pushing right now. So, but they're doing it top, whatever. We're exchanging towers, it happens. Anyways, back to the build. We finished off the Sunfire Cape first, and then typically against those 80 top laners, I will also pick up the Ninja Tabi. Very helpful, although if I'm going up against somebody AP, I might actually hurry up towards somebody with Merc Treads. Get the boots that you need. Typically it's either Ninja Tabi or Merc Treads, but you usually don't need the Merc Treads because you already have a certain amount of tenacity with your W, so you really don't need them. But if you want the magic resist portion of that early, it's pretty cheap to pick up the Null Mantle. So that's what I'm saying there. If you're just dealing with the damage, basically just pick that part of it early. So that'll keep you a little bit safer. But if you are against somebody who is magic damage top, Spirit Visage is the way to go early on, because it will help you with some cooldown reduction, some health, and that health regeneration. Also, the passive healing is going to help all of your healing, and that is what we're building currently right now. But if you need to get it earlier against magic damage tops, then that's what you'd want to do. But what I was saying is we basically just rush the Sunfire Cape because it's going to be awesome for damage, awesome for health, good for the armor, and that's what we want. That's going to help us out drastically. We're going to actually pick up a kill with AoE damage there. Sunfire Cape OP. And yeah, we're going to pick up another kill in a second with just a Briefcase, which is pretty much KS Briefcase. But, you know, I'm just trying to slow people and hit them. It's going to actually murder the slug. So KS, whatever. Don't care. Anyways, we're going to just run in here, though, because we can try to help tank things with the team or for the team. And Lucian getting denied. That will happen. Anyways, so we have our boots, we have our Sunfire, and we have our Spirit Visage. Those are your 3 main items. We start with the Dorans Shield at level 1. The health regen's nice. Obviously, denying the basic attack damage on it a little bit is good. And the health as well. Always good things. Dorans Shield in a pot. Take that to your lane. Now, as for our next item that we're starting to build, we picked up another Giant's Belt because now we have lots of life, which helps with all of our regeneration. Keeps stacking, keeps helping us out. We're going to be building this towards the Randuins Omen. And it's a good item. We could use a little bit more armor, and this is going to help us out. Also, when people attack us, they will get slowed when we finish this item off as well. And then we'll have the active on it where we can set that off, slow people around us. So as Mundo running super fast with your ultimate up, you can run in there and then bust out the Omen. And that's going to slow everybody down. You're going to stick to them like glue even more. And then those briefcases are going to keep slowing them down too. So it's just a combination of fun, really. You just want to stay on top of people. Now let's go ahead and talk about those runes, since we already hit up masteries. Now, runes, you can do these a few different ways, and I'll give you all the options that I think make sense. Now, as for the marks, you could really do a few things. You could do... Alright, so you could and couldn't. You could take some damage ones if you want for those standard attacks early on. Pretty helpful there. But I actually take the hybrid penetration because those standard attacks will be there, and you are passively do a lot of magic damage. So the hybrid pen ones work awesomely on Mundo. Here, we are getting chased. Now, awesomely... We said awesome a lot today, whatever. You can keep hitting them with briefcases, and it's going to slow them down. So, our Lucian shows up, which is fun. We have a Moo showing up as well. We keep slowing down the Renekton, as I like to call him. He is going to turn around. Yasuo's going to come in. They're actually going to blow up the crap out of Lucian. We will pick up a kill, though. He is, unfortunately, going to finish me off, too. He has a lot of damage right now with that Infinity Edge and Stack Shift. But he's going to get blown up here, and I will pick up an assist. So, could have been worse. But we will go ahead and get that going for us. Now, back to those runes. I go with the hybrid pen marks. They work really well. Now, as for those seals, we go with the armor seals. Pretty standard there. And for the glyphs, I go with the magic resist per level. And then as for those quintessences, there's a couple choices here. I see some people do the movement speed ones. Not a terrible idea. I'm okay with that. But what I like to take is flat health regen. And the flat health regen ones, obviously late game, really not as much of a huge thing, but early on in the game with your passive, with the Dorans Shield, and with those runes, you regen a lot of health while you are in lane, and you really just become an even bigger pain. And since everything does cost you health, it's okay to have a little extra health regen, not a terrible idea. Here, Renekton dies me and Caitlyn follows. Granted, 2 more of them are here, but why would you chase a tanky Mundo under towers? This is the worst idea I've ever seen. So, Renekton's going to die. If everyone would have committed to it, maybe, but that's still a huge gamble. We're going to go ahead and kill Yasuo right before he's able to take out Lucian, and now I am going to do what Mundo does best, and that is chase people with his ultimate, keep hitting them with those briefcases, slowing them down. Caitlyn can't get through all of my armor. She's going to have to flash. I keep slowing them both down, dealing damage. Cass is going to show up and finish them both off, but I did my job. I chased at them, didn't die, kept them slowed, and was Mundo, basically. Just a giant pain. And that's the problem with Mundo. Or the good thing, depending on which side of it you're on. He just sticks to people because he's fast with the ultimate, and the cleavers / briefcases are just ridiculous. So, this is actually a really close game gold-wise for how many more kills we have than them. That is kind of depressing on our part. Anyways. But yeah, that's Mundo. Those are the cleavers. It's fun. We have the Omen now. At this point, we are building, of course, the Warmogs Armor, which, in case you don't know, is going to give us a bunch of life, 1,000 of it, and then it's also going to help us with our maximum health regeneration, which is getting buffed by our passive and also getting buffed by our Spirit Visage. All these items team together really well, and the more health you build on Mundo also helps really well, and it just helps you in all those ways. So here we're going to get into another engagement while we take this turret. Lucian's going to finish off the turret for us while we are tanking it, and we're going to go ahead and get in a fight. I'm going to basically pick up an assist on all these kills. Oh, actually, no, I'm going to kill Caitlyn. Briefcase. Boom. And, yeah, we're able to chase under towers. I'm not even tanking some of these, but, I mean, when you're this beefy, what do we have, like, 4,000 health? I mean, 4,000 health, 280 armor or something ridiculous, and 170 magic resist. Like, we're just hard to kill, and that's great. That's what you want to be, hard to kill. And because of your tankiness, your AoE with the Sunfire and your W, and constant cleavers, and good increased damage with your E, it makes Mundo really, really strong, and you don't need to build damage on him because of these reasons. So, I don't know what else to say. It's Mundo. This was one of the first champions I really got into when playing League of Legends. I don't play him as much anymore. He's been coming back lately, as we've seen in LCS and all over the place, and people have been playing him. So I decided to start playing him again, and it was like, it just comes back so easy for me because like he was what I used to play all the time. He was fun. Mundo's great. Play him. I don't think he's expensive either. So that's pretty much Mundo build. I don't know what else to say. We have our Warmogs now. We have one open slot. Usually I'd give you options here. I'd say, what? Let's get a, I don't know, Guardian Angel, a Frozen Mallet, something else with health, or something with armor and magic resist. You really don't need the damage. You could get a damage item if you want. Get a Trinity Force. There, get a Trinity Force. It'll even help you more with chasing, extra damage, and lots of ridiculousness. So, at this point, though, usually teams don't last this long. Just being honest. If Mundo gets this big, it's pretty hard to take him out. And especially with a fairly tanky Amumu with us, too. So, we're going to go ahead and secure the Baron, because that makes sense. We're going to go ahead and get in a big fight, too. Team fight. I'm pretty sure no one's going to die. On our team. I'm pretty sure they're going to die. Let me put it that way. So, that's Mundo. That's the build. Try it out. Play him. The main things I would highly suggest are just make sure you land the Qs to slow them. And that's all you need. And that's how you win. But that's Mundo. Everything's in the description. And I'll see all of you in the next build video. No, Riven's there, and she's going to move in, but she doesn't know I'm here again. And it's one of those, hey, let's just get in a fight. Riven's coming in behind the team, and we're going to go ahead and pick up a kill on her again. So it's pick on Riven day.